So today I am bringing 1850 points of Blood Angels, mainly using the stuff from the new Angel's Blade book. I'm not hugely enamoured by most of the stuff in it, but I thought I'd better give it a try. You can't moan about stuff on the internet unless you've actually done it yourself. So I have got the Lost Brotherhood Strike Force, which is basically load of Death Company. You have to take at least one Death Company chaplain, so I have one there. He's missing his jump pack because I haven't found a new model on eBay yet. And then you have to take at least 3 squads of Death Company. I've got one giant squad of 15. They've got 2 power axes, 2 power fists, and all jump packs. I've got one squad of 5. They've got 1 power fist and jump packs. And then I have another squad of 5, no jump packs, but again a power fist. To take it as the big Ducurian, as people like to call them, you have to take at least a command choice, so you have to take another Death Company chaplain or equivalent. You can't take normal chaplains, which I think I'd have slightly preferred, but I've taken Lamartes because he seems reasonably good for his points compared to the Death Company guy. Then you have to take a Death Company Dreadnought, so I've taken a bulk standard one just with a standard melter gun and magna grapples and given him a drop pod to ride around in. And then, as my auxiliary formation, you don't have to take one, but you can gain the benefits of the Death Company formation by doing so. I've taken a Lucifer Armoured Task Force. You have to take at least 1 Land Raider and 3 different types of Predator. So I've taken 2 Las Cannon Predators and 1 Bale Predator with Assault Cannon Heavy Bolters, and I've taken a Land Raider Redeemer. That formation requires you to take a Tech Marine who's going to sit inside a Land Raider because he's not very good. The formation bonuses, though, give you Scout, and you get to make a 6-inch move, which isn't a Scout move, from the big Death Company formation. All the units in the Death Company formation, so all the squads as well, get to do that. They get to make a 6-inch move when they deploy, so the whole army can really move up the field. All of the things there are also fast from their formation, so I've got a fast Land Raider Redeemer, which is what I'm really wanting to try out. But let's see if it gets grabbed to death. I suspect Mark has grav guns.
Right then, guys, this is the army I'm using against the Blood Angels today. It's my first time taking it out. I'm going to try out the Lion's Blade Detachment, which is basically a Gladiator Strike Force. So, I've got 2 demi companies. So this dude at the front here, unfortunately, I can't give him a bike. So he's got a jump pack, power axe, artificer, armour. And this guy is representing a chaplain, just on the bike, no other upgrades. I've got 6 min tac squads. 4 of them have got grav guns, nothing on the sergeants, and they each have a Las Plaz Razorback. I've got one with Plaz Combi Plaz. They have an Assault Cannon Razorback. And I've got one with Melter Combi Melter, has a Heavy Flamer Razorback. I have 2 5-man assault squads, each in drop pods, each with double flamers. I have 2 Devastator squads, 2 multi-melters, 2 las cannons, 2 rhinos. I've got my tax of a scout squad. And then this is all the 6 transports I've got for free. And then finally, to supplement it, I've gone for a Raven Wing attachment. So this is the Libby on a bike. He's level 2, has a Auspex. I have a 5-man command squad. In there they've got a Apothecary and a grenade launcher. These are Proxian. These are 4 more Black Knights, no other upgrade, and a Raven Wing Dark Shroud.
Hi there, welcome to another Team Clueless battle report. We have already set up the game, and you'll see the army lists after this quick intro video. I say quick, let's see how far I can blabber on for. So I am playing against Mark today. Say hi, Mark. We are playing, Mark is playing a Dark Angels Gladius, what's it actually called? Lion's Blade Strike Force, you'll see his army list shortly. And I am playing a Blood Angels Lost Brotherhood Strike Force with Lucifer Armoured Strike Group. We are playing a kind of an amalgam mission. We are playing Maelstroms, where there are 6 objectives on the table, and we get to have up to 3 cards each turn, similar to what we did at the tournament we went to in Luton. And we've also rolled up a random standard book mission to go alongside it, and we've got kill points today, so that will form our points, and it has the standard secondary missions as usual. This is already our setup and scout moves and such, so you may think, Mike, you have set up well far forward, but the Blood Angels Lost Brotherhood Strike Force gets to make an extra 6-inch move at the start of the game, and also all my vehicles get scout on top of that. So my Land Raider is midfield, and all my Death Company Marines are on the line 18 inches in, along with my 3 Predators. Mark has kind of like drawn back a tiny bit. I think if I manage to steal the initiative, Mark is going first unfortunately, then I'll be looking at an 8-inch charge. But that's my only game plan, because look at the numbers he's got compared to me. There are dudes inside all of his rhinos. So this is a moment of truth, Mark. This is the dice. It's going to come up with that nice 6 there. Are we ready? Do you want to blow the dice, Mark?
No.
It's not a 6. Okay, quickly redo that. Okay. Let's see how I get on. I suspect not very well, as I didn't roll a 6.
Right, that is the end of Dark Angel's turn 1. So for tactical jerks, I drew Secure Objective 6 and Take No Prisoners. Down the left flank was probably my most successful. Pushed up with the bikers, got into rapid range of the 5 Dempney out in the open and was able to kill them pretty quickly. Pretty much all the vehicles down in this corner, I attempted to shoot the Land Raider. It did absolutely diddly squat. This was the exception of the Assault Cannon and one of the Lasplas. I tried to shoot into the Death Company, also with my Flamer templates. My shooting with the Psychic Powers and stuff like that probably really didn't do enough to be significant. I think the Feel No Pain was certainly quite useful. I started in on the verge that, essentially he gets a lot more benefits on the assault. So
yeah, if I charge you, I'll wipe the squad out before it hits.
Yeah, so I've got I tied them up. I've taken an awful lot of damage, so the squad's certainly depleted.
We're both basically useless now, aren't we?
Yeah, so we're just going to hopefully fight each other for a little while. I think I've tied up more points than what I spent, which is kind of useful. So yeah, but the big
I think mine was 400 and something, so I imagine mine's more expensive than yours.
Similar-ish though. So yeah, we tied up there. I've dropped an OBSEC drop pod on Objective 6, so I scored that point. I wiped out a unit here, so I scored no prisoners. I've drawn a Dark Angels objective card, and I said number 1.
It's a secret!
So I scored 2 points and First Blood, so I've scored a grand total of 3 points at the end of my turn.
End of Blood Angels turn 1. Mark has secretly gained a victory point at the end of my turn due to some Dark Angels bullshit. So he is up to 4 VPs. So this turn I split my 2 Predators up, hoping to avoid a multi-charge, fired all 6 of my las cannons, due to my fast vehicle rule, I can move and fire them, into that Rhino. I've stopped it moving. What did I do to it? Anything?
Sorry?
That Rhino, did it lose the whole point?
It lost the whole point. It's got you immobilised it.
Oh yes, immobilised. Woot! I'd hoped for a bit better, because I really needed to get the multi-melters out there so I could then flame them with my Flamestorm cannon. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so my Flamestorm cannon Land Raider is up here, but that's 2 multi-melters sitting next to it, so it's probably dead. So up here, this move forward, it double flamed and snap-fired its assault cannon at the Rhino in front of it, happening to catch the land speeder behind it in the flames. I managed to stop the land speeder from firing this turn. Not the best result. I'd really like to have stopped it moving so I could then kill it next turn. The multi-melter didn't snap fire, fired using power of the machine spirit at the Rhino to try and take it out, but failed to do so. Other stuff. The squad back here kind of comedy died. I podded down my Dreadnought here, in case I needed help in the combat, and go back here and wipe out this squad. But a combination of Stormbolter fire from the drop pod, the Dreadnought, left 1 Marine alive down there, and because of the objectives I had, I decided to take advantage, and I fired my heavy bolter and assault cannon over at the final Marine and killed him. So, bit of a surprise how easily they fell. Other than that, I don't really have many units, so down here, my combat with Mark went incredibly well for me. Mark didn't roll particularly well to hit, and I had initiative on him due to his stasis bomb no longer affecting me, and I wiped out all his characters and squad. I mean, his captain at the end was striking at the same initiative as all my power fists, and he failed to hit 4 times. And then took a fist in the face. So really good combat for me there, but I was kind of hoping Mark would stay alive so I could then ride out the combat again for another round, and then I could have assaulted, but unfortunately Mark is now going to shoot me a lot, I suspect. But let's find out. I scored objectives. I scored 2. We do a D3 equals 2 here, so I got D3 victory points for killing 5 of Mark's units. So I got that one. And I got 1 for claiming objective 5, which is where the drop pod is. We'll add kill points up at the end, but obviously I gained 5 kill points that turn also. Let's see how Mark responds.
Right, this is the end of Dark Angel's turn 2, and definitely a good turn in terms of damage on the board, because it's a kill point game and stuff like this. So starting down the left-hand side here, I got this squad out here because they're not going to have an impact if I don't get out, and I've just fired into this tank here. I've done no damage to the tank whatsoever. I moved the bike squad around to the side here, shot in and assaulted and killed that vehicle, which was pretty good. Drop pods come in, I've just sat them on that objective, just backfield annoyance, and if I score, get the points. Down here, I've got some squads out to deal with the Land Raider. You may notice it's ominously missing. Opened up with the 2 multi-melters, and I managed to get the explosion results, took out the Land Raider. Then I pummeled most of my shooting in, and kind of the last kind of shot of the game, managed to kill them. They did survive quite a long time, but killed the Death Company and the Tech Marine that went with it, which was good. Down here, I kind of pinged off a few wounds off the Devon Company. It's still a pretty large and dangerous squad. I think I killed about...
Well, it's not very large, but it's dangerous. There are 5 of them, but 2 have got power fists and 2 are chaplains.
Yeah, so it's yeah, definitely some threats still going on down here. Attempted to take the drop pod, but failed miserably. And I got a lucky last cannon shot down here, firing the Death Company dredge, and I think it may have been the plasma gun actually, which hit and blew up the Death Company dredge. So that was a good turn in terms of damage on the board. In terms of cards scored, I had make an enemy foul and morale check, which I've obviously discarded because I'm never going to be able to do that anymore. I've got issue a challenge, and if I take an objective off of his opponent. So there wasn't a lot I could do in terms of getting points on that turn, but in terms of damage done, I'm very happy with that turn. End of my 2.
End of Blood Angel turn 2. So what did I do this turn? My plan was to try and gain kill points and try and cripple a bit of Mark's army as I go. I moved this Predator out sideways. Even if he had a flat outed, he couldn't get away from Mark's dudes here who are just going to assault him and kill him. He can't do anything about it. So I thought I'd move a little bit up here, claim objective 1, which was one of my missions, and kill that rhino with 1 whole point with my 3 las cannons. Obviously that failed. Then we have over here, Mark had 2 squads and a rhino there, so I jumped over and then used all of my firing from my bolt pistols, storm bolters, and this over here to attempt to take out the grav gun. Because of Mark's formations and such, he overwatches at full ballistic skill, so I was a little scared of the plasma gun and the grav guns, but with a bit of placement and Mark rolling quite badly with his grav gun and me making my Fiona Pains from it, or invulnerable saves from it because I put my chaplains at the front, I managed to charge in, only taking 1 loss and 1 wound from his overwatch. I only put Lamartes into a squad that had 3 men left because I kind of thought he wouldn't be able to kill them all because his AP doesn't beat them, while a Power Fist went for the Rhino and my proper chaplain and the other Power Fist went for the squad of 5. Unfortunately, Lamartes was a whirlwind of death and slaughtered all of his Space Marines, and I killed everything else I was in combat with, which seems good other than the fact I'm now in the open and Mark has an entire army to fire at 4 models. I suspect they might all be gone next turn. Let's see if Mark can do it.
Right, guys, so this is the end of my turn 3. Cuddy really didn't have a lot on the board at the moment, which was kind of unfortunate in the wrap-out stages. I moved my bike squad that was here, which I've actually moved off the board now, but they moved in, and between their shooting, they didn't even get assault. They assaulted and killed that. I'd obviously had enough firepower into Lamartes' squad. I managed to kill Lamartes. I killed one of the Power Fists. I left him a Death Company with a Power Fist and Chaplain on 1 wound. Drop pod over mobilised. He's got 1 whole point left. I don't think I managed to hurt the tank. But
the Bale Predator was still fully healthy.
Yes, but at this point, on the cards, I just started to pull ahead on the cards. At this point, he had 4 models left. I had models everywhere. I still had mobility. So it was pretty much, unfortunately, that stage game to the Dark Angels.
Yeah, it was interesting. The first time we were just chatting about it, and then remembered we were supposed to be taking a video. Just saying, it's the first time I've ever played against the Battle Company, and it's a daunting prospect faced across the board.
It's an awful lot of units. It was a very, very, very big army.
I mean, we looked at it, and we were just saying that my tanks, my Predators and things, were just basically slightly up-armoured versions of your Rhinos and Razorbacks.
Yeah.
That cost 100 points more and don't have objectives secured.
Yeah.
And you had 3 times as many as I had.
Oh yeah, how ridiculous. And it means I could shoot at different targets and stuff like that. And because you were a bit uncertain of the last players at the start, weren't you? But I thought it was actually relatively useful.
It's because I had to push into you. You were just getting extra shots, weren't you?
Well, I think it does give you that option, because at the end of the day, if you want to use like assault cannons, you're better off playing White Scars, because you need to get them in range and stuff like that. So if you're going to do that, I think you need the las cannons. I just think the single las with the twin link plasma is better than...
Yeah, I definitely prefer that to the twin link las.
Yeah. And I think that's the only option, because I quite like the Dark Shroud to give all my tanks basically.
It came into play, didn't it? Saved one of your tanks.
Yeah,
saved it quite well, because 2 turns it's cover save made it good for you.
Yeah, even let me roll at hot 6 as well. So it was definitely quite liked having the Dark Shroud. I mean, I do reckon the White Scars are still better, but the Dark Angels, it definitely has a playable battle.
Yeah, they're very different. We were saying that's a much more defensive army than the White Scars, because the White Scars can do an alpha strike. If you push up, get first turn, unload all your bodies, you can fire 40 Marines plus all your vehicles and an enemy that's deployed badly. Whereas this army is much better at sitting back and then taking the charges. Like when I was charging my Death Company, it was like, will I even survive the charge? Because you're overwatching at BS4. Yeah,
I mean, the ability to overwatch at full BS means you're kind of getting through stuff like invisibility and bits and pieces like that.
And it really, really helps your attrition game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because every time I charged, I will lose 1 or 2 models, and I only had like 30 Marines, well, less than that.
It makes a big
I have
difference.
27 Space Marines in this game.
And I think the other thing is the Black Knight.
The plasma talons can threaten any enemy, can't they?
Yeah, it's actually said it's the fact they're self-contained 3+ rerollable, so they're already tough without having to do
Yeah,
anything.
they're basically invulnerable to any shooting if you want them to be.
Yeah,
Which wouldn't be so bad if they weren't good in close combat, because I could shoot them and then they would be neutered for a turn, but they'd have survived. But the fact that I shoot them and they go, I don't take any damage, I'll still charge in and kill you in combat.
yeah. I always think what essentially can the squad kill 5 Marines pretty quickly, and they definitely can.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is kind of useful. If you could do that, then you can generally take things off objective.
I think they're the best unit in the Dark Angels Codex there.
Yeah, and I think arguably they're one of my favourite units in the game as well.
Yeah.
I enjoy the versatility
They
that
come
they
with
bring.
everything, don't they? They've got a hit and run, they've got a really good twin-linked gun.
Yeah,
They've got a decent close combat weapon that's got rending so they can hurt any target.
yeah. They've got Scout.
Yeah, really fast movement, they can turbo boost, they've got a free-up rerollable jink.
Yeah,
Just all-round brilliant unit.
yeah. I really like them for their points. They're definitely a solid unit.
The Blood Angel stuff, I mean, I love vehicles, I love the models and things. I really think that I'd like to use vehicles in game, but this game again just proves vehicles are a trap. You just waste points.
Yeah.
I think I did 2 whole points on my Land Raider, and then it blew up to the first shot you fired at it, or first shot you hit with. And the 2 Predators did 2 whole points to a Rhino all game.
Yeah, it's basically
And then just got killed.
the question is: are you super heavy? If the answer is no, you're probably not very good.
Well, were you free? Because your vehicles were all really good because you paid 0 to 20 points for them.
Yep.
But paying 100 points for something with side armour 11 and 3 hull points.
It's just so. The problem is, it's not only is it relatively easy to kill, it's also it's a damage output as well. It's hard to.
3 las cannons, one of them twin linked, and that's only if you move 6 inches. It just doesn't do anything. With cover saves are prevalent.
You look at it. Probably the easiest comparison is something like a Riptide, which is a few more points more, much more durable, much more firepower, much more mobility.
Doesn't auto die as soon as something gets in close combat with it.
Yeah, and you just think, that's just not right. There.
I don't know what they need to change about vehicles. I think if you doubled the hull points of every vehicle in the game, that would go some way towards making them survivable enough.
Yeah, and strength D as well, though.
Yeah, the whole point, and the explode result, because you took out the Land Raider with 1 explode result, and that was the only shot that got through, and then that's just 250 points gone, and it's not unlikely.
No, because it was with double multi-mods, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, a melter gun's designed to kill a vehicle, but if that was a monstrous creature, it would have done 1 wound to it.
Yeah, it's so appreciation. It's the fact that monster creature's never going to get doubled out, really, realistically, anyway. So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. We're just kind of discussing, I guess, the general state of the game and how we feel about it. We still love the game, but in some ways, I prefer a home game now to a tournament. I'm kind of slightly souring on tournaments a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if I go to a tournament, I'll take my battle company because I feel that's a really strong list. But yeah, as you say, I prefer. We decided today to have a competitive game, and I wanted to see if the Blood Angels were competitive. And the Death Company are good and they're deadly, but they cost a lot of points. And the vehicles just don't back them up well enough.
As you said, against certain armies, that would be devastating.
Yeah, so if I was playing against Orcs, who have to come in for combat, I mean, I could wipe out... I mean, I think the main Death Company squad there, put out something like 90 attacks on the charge, re-rolling to hit, re-rolling to wound, initiative 6 or 5, and strength 5. It would just wipe out any number of Orcs you put up against it.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of Eldar builds that are probably scared of that list.
Yeah, because I've got the mobility to get to the Death Star, the bikes.
Yeah, the front armor 13 makes a big difference. You've got range as well from your last cannons.
The Land Raider with the cannons, but I knew when I made the army, going first is so important for the army. Yeah. It's just so important, because if I scout up, I'm then within range of any enemy army, and if they got first turn, they just shoot me and I die.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's some certain lists are so easy. It's so hard to build an army that isn't based around either Alpha Strike or psychic powers now, or a Death
really
Star of some sort.
Because you've got to think that the enemy army can Alpha Strike you back. So
yeah, I think the only army that isn't one of those armies is kind of basically the Warcon. Which really relies on first turn, or this Demi companies. Yeah. I don't think anything else kind of has the durability or the endurance to kind of deal with the kind of top tier. That is to say, there's still an awful lot of playable armies, which is good. But
I think there's the top 10% of really strong tournament armies, but then all the rest of the armies can have really good fun games versus each other, and will be quite balanced depending on what you take.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you're playing at home, as long as you have a conversation beforehand, you know what type of armies you're bringing, then it should be reasonably competitive at least.
We generally always do, don't we?
Yeah.
It's, you know, as you said, this game you decided you wanted a proper
Yeah, I
competitive
really
game.
wanted to see what they would do because I'd love to take them to tournament. I mean, I've painted them red for the past 20 years, but
Back to Scarlet Scars.
back to the Scarlet Scars for me. They're the same, but a lot better.
Yep, always the way.
Okay, we better finish packing up.
Yep.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Bye.